Hi, and welcome to this short video on this Pro Carry Ranch Series holster for the Smith & Wesson Governor. Now, as you can see, this holster is kind of unique in that it has some ammo loops here. And one thing you don't really pick up from a lot of the pictures where this is offered for sale is that for the Governor, there are 6, as you can see, ammo loops. Most of the photos show a Judge version of the holster and only has 5. But there are 6, and as you can see, you can put in whichever you like. I don't have any 45 auto here, primarily because that would also then have the need for the moon clips. But here you have the 410 and the 45 long Colt, and load it up however you like. Here we have the firearm, and it is unloaded. The holster itself is pretty basic. It doesn't really have anything too fancy on it, as far as there's no thumb snap. The belt loop system, and hopefully you can see this in here. There's a slot on the kind of the back here, and then a wide loop here. And typically what I do with mine is slip the belt through and then through a belt loop on the pants or on the jeans I'm wearing, and then through this loop. And it fits pretty well and holds pretty tight, and it will accommodate wide belts up to 1 3/4 inches, maybe even 2 inch, although most belts aren't that wide, but 1 3/4 inches is no problem. So one of the important things about holsters is the break-in period, and the holster store that sells this Pro Carry Ranch Series holster does have just a simple break-in procedure, and doesn't take very long, and it works very, very well. What it requires is some wax paper, and if you take enough wax paper, they say to wrap the firearm twice, and in this case, I'll show you a good guess, and it comes out pretty well. You have to know which side the wax is on, and you want the wax away from the pistol and towards the holster. The wax will actually kind of soak in, I guess, a little bit to the holster itself, and you also end up with kind of a 1 or 2 millimeter or kind of a buffer around the gun, just get a little bit extra cushion space that really makes for a nice fit, and it will last for a long time. They say to keep it wrapped overnight if possible. I don't think any longer, necessarily doesn't much more, but it doesn't hurt either. So take about this and about like that, tear it off. Again, the wax on this side, if you don't know, you can kind of run your finger on it to figure out which side the wax is on. And you can either kind of twist it up or tear off the extra. Kind of work it in there, work it in well, and they also indicate that you can kind of work it around, work it back and forth, and you may actually end up tearing the wax paper and needing to get some more, but that's okay. And once you have it kind of worked in, and it seems like it's got a good solid fit, and just leave it and let it overnight. Now in the winter, it's a little bit cooler. I actually stuck it in the room with the fireplace. It'll be just a little bit warmer. Came out just beautiful. Once you've got your holster broken in, you will find out that the firearm does you can take it out and reholster it quite well. It's a little bit snug when you first get it, and again, that's with most holsters. So don't be concerned about that. Now here, hopefully you get a pretty good view of the holster, and it is essentially strong side carry. They talk about doing some other things with it in some various write-ups I've seen. I don't know, it just seems to work very well for me. You holster the weapon, and it is held fairly firmly because the holster itself is kind of curved a little bit at the top to actually catch that cylinder and to hold it securely, even though there is no thumb snap or anything. And for a draw, again, it's not a quick draw holster or anything. It's exactly what the name says. A good ranch type holster. You're heading out into the woods, out on the farm, ranch, and you can carry it with you. Got some extra ammo. The draw is very nice, very smooth. Reholstering is quite easy and is very positive. And again, if you want to try to wear it some other way, that's fine, but I find this works very well for me. And the ammo loops, if you take like the 410 shells and push it down into the brass area, they seem to hold very securely. The long Colt, the same. And I suppose they might loosen just a little bit over time, but I don't think anything's going to come out when you don't want it to. And again, you can load it up, as you see fit. So there you have it, the Pro Carry Ranch Series The holster for the Smith & Wesson Governor, and again, it is the same models for the Judge if you have that firearm, and if you order it for the Judge, it is a different holster. Has 5 ammo loops. So this actually is made for the Smith & Wesson Governor, and it works very well. I like it. I think you might like it. I've got some links in the description of the video where you can either find this on Amazon, get I think the best price for it, and click there, or you can go to my website, find out a little bit more about it. I've got some other pictures I'll be uploading. I hope this has been helpful. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.